Hello, friends. My name is Brent Nemeth. I'm the President and Chief Creative Officer of J. Schmidt & Associates. We're a marketing and branding agency located in Kansas City. I want to share something with you today that's always been true. It will always be true, but somehow feels even more relevant today, considering the environment we're in. Here's the basic premise. I believe brands need to be more human, meaning rather than behave like a cold, faithless company, simply trying to sell you something, brands should be empathetic, caring, warm, and genuine. Today, we need brands we can believe in, brands we can trust and feel connected to, brands that feel familiar, like an old friend. Unfortunately, most brands don't do this. Most brands simply market products to consumers with no sense of humanity at all. Now, here's the problem. We're not selling to a demographic or a target audience or consumers, people who consume things, or names on a mailing list. The fact is, we're trying to connect with her, a real person living a real life with real problems. You know, even before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, her life was complicated. She would get up in the morning, get her kids off to school, go to work, rush home, get her kids to soccer practice, then rush home again, make dinner, get dinner on the table, and maybe return some emails at night, go to bed, and get up the next day and do it all over again. Now, where in that day does she have time to be thinking about us, about our brand? I know the assumption is that we're probably top of mind, right? She's always thinking about our brand because we are. Surely she's thinking about us every day, right? Well, no, of course not. We're lucky if we can fit into her life, just a sliver of her life in some way. Do we matter to her? Does she need us? Now, fast forward to today. You know, her life is complicated even more so. So how do we connect with her? Not just as a company or a brand trying to sell her something, but connect with her on a human level. What if we better understood how humans are wired? What if we understood what makes people tick? Why do we do the things we do? Why do we react to the things we react to? Well, a lot of these answers, guys, can be found in neuroscience. Now, let me be clear. I am no neuroscientist. I'm not a scientist of any kind. I am just a simple-minded ad guy, but I can read. And there are lots and lots of resources out there, studies that have been done through neuroscience that have proven these things to be true. We have proven how all of us are wired essentially the same way. Our brains operate the same way. We are built to think and react the same. So everything that I'm going to talk about today has been proven through neuroscience. You can't argue it. It's all fact. The question becomes, if these things are true, what are the implications for your marketing efforts then? If we understand humanity better and how all of us are wired, what if we took those things and applied them to marketing? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to talk about 7 points. I call them the 7 basic human truths. Again, because these are all true. They always have been. They always will be. We can count on these things. The fact is, we just got to be willing to do something with it. So I'm going to give you examples of each of these and how we can bring them to life in our marketing today. Basic human truth number one: the brain craves ease and order. This is true. This is how we're all wired. Our brain will always choose the easy route. It wants to take shortcuts by nature. We are naturally lazy, I'm sorry to say, but it's the truth. Our brains do not want to work hard. We always would prefer taking the easy route. And consumers want an easy experience more than anything. This has been proven out through numerous studies. I've seen multiple studies that have been done over the years, asking consumers, tens of thousands of consumers all over the country, of all the brands you deal with and everything that they do to get your business, what's the most important thing to you? And by far, the number one answer is, just make it easy for me. Quit making things so complicated. Quit making it difficult to do business with you. If you would just make the entire experience of dealing with your brand easy, chances are I might buy from you. And then thirdly, if things are unorganized, it makes the brain feel stressed. This is a fact. Guys, it also is true in our physical environment. If our physical environment is unorganized, I make this argument all the time. If you have a messy desk, if you have a messy office, you might, think to yourself, well, I work better that way. That's simply not true. It's not true. The brain will feel stressed if things are unorganized in your world. The more organized things are, the more organized you are, the less stressed your brain will feel. So, what's the takeaway for marketing then? Simplify everything. Everything. Look at every piece of communication you have with your consumers. Can it be simplified? Can you strip it down? Can you eliminate things that are not necessary so you can let the necessary things shine? Here's a case study of a client of ours, Relax the Back. They sell high-end products that help people both with back pain and also folks who just want to live a healthier life. This is the cover of a catalog that we did for them years ago, and we were looking for ways to simplify this. How do we strip down the message? How do we simplify it so chances are folks would look at it, respond to it quicker, and ideally open it up? So we took the before catalog here, the cover, and rethought it and stripped it down to the basic elements. Essentially two things, the logo and an image. We took everything else off, simplified it down to this, and was curious. We did a head-to-head test. This was a true A/B test. Which one would perform better? Then on the inside of the catalog, we redesigned that as well, simplified everything. So this was a before spread when you opened up the book. This is one of their better selling products. There's a lot to say about it. There was a lot of information to convey what we thought was all important. However, when we took this and simplified it to this, look how much more pleasing that is. Turns out we really didn't need all of that other information. All we needed was this. Here's another before example of a catalog spread in the same book, telling the story of how you can customize an office chair. And here are the 3 steps. You can choose the height of the chair, choose your style, choose your material, etc. And the thought was at the time, man, we need to show everything. Otherwise, they won't understand the process. And so it became quite complicated. So we redesigned it. Again, this was the before, and this is the after. stripped it down, simplified everything, get to the heart of the message, quit complicating things. You know, I think sometimes we're our own worst enemy, where we assume that people want to hear everything there is to know about a product or a service or a process. So we just keep adding layer upon layer of information, when in fact, they don't want all of that. They just want the simplest, most direct path. Here's another example in the same book. Before, hey, you want to buy a mattress? Here's 3 choices, but oh my goodness. Before you even start reading, this feels complicated. My brain automatically starts to get stressed. You got to be kidding me. I got to find my way through all of this nonsense just to figure out which mattress I want. So again, we stripped it down, we simplified, and this was the end result in the after design. Again, doing a comparison, a head-to-head test. Which version is going to perform better? And so did it work? Absolutely it worked in a significant way. What we thought was going to happen with the redesigned version, we thought that it might do better with prospects. Turns out it did much better with prospects, but also with current customers. In fact, it did so well that we applied this approach, this ultra simplified approach, to all catalogs moving forward and even into all marketing materials. And it's working. I'm telling you guys, this stuff works if you strip it down and simplify. We do not want complicated information. Basic human truth number 2. Humans have limited attention. Oh, isn't that the truth? Guys, we have an 8-second attention span. That's nuts. A goldfish has 9-second attention span. A goldfish pays attention longer than we do. How has this happened? You know, it used to be where we'd have a 30-second attention span. You know, then it was maybe 20 seconds, then 15 seconds. It's down to 8 seconds. That's ridiculous. We can't pay attention to anything anymore. We are so distracted as humans. Second, consumers hate too many choices. 3 is ideal, meaning once you get beyond 3 things, trying to comprehend 3 things, if we're telling them to remember 3 things or choose from 3 things, once you get past 3, we start to lose people. It gets harder and harder to remember, more difficult to pay attention, etc. And then thirdly, if you're trying to maintain people's attention, hold on to their attention, entertain them if possible. That helps. Humor is a great way to do it. If your brand by nature is not funny, if you're not a humorous or witty brand, don't try it. However, if it's true to your brand, if it fits your personality to be a little witty or funny or entertaining, by all means do it. So the lesson, the marketing lesson here, guys, is don't overwhelm. Be brief, knowing that people do not have a very long attention. They're not going to sit and listen to what you have to say unless it's ultra interesting. You better be brief. You better get to the point quickly. Here's another example of a client we worked with, Custom Ink. They sell T-shirts online. You can custom design T-shirts online. It's actually a pretty cool and easy service to do. This was the before cover of a mailer that we had designed for them originally. And again, knowing that folks have a limited attention, we thought, gosh, there's got to be a way to get to the point quicker. Again, another test, A/B here, before and after. Here's the after cover of this catalog. Just a little quicker and a little more direct. knowing that we have limited time to capture people's attention, we want to get them inside quickly. Then, this was the old version of the inside of the catalog when you opened it up. Opening spread. Before, there's quite a bit to process here. Not sure if we're going to hold people's attention through that. And then certainly when you turn the page and get deeper into the book, there's simply too much here to read and assume that we're going to hold on to people's attention. They want to get in and get out. We have to be brief. So we knew that we had to strip this down and get to the point quicker. Even this wasn't bad. Again, the before, we're trying to explain the fact that we've got all these colors available, all these sizes, but it just takes too long to get to the point. So this was the redesign. What if we got to the point quicker? This is the opening spread, one large image, an intro message that we thought was appealing. There's the red flag in the lower right-hand corner that can push them online if they want to go directly online to find more information. Deeper into the book, we've got 4 key messages that we want to communicate and communicate quickly. So we try to do it visually. The fact that there's over 65,000 pieces of artwork in our library to choose from. We've got over 350 font styles to choose from. Over 6,500 design templates already designed that you can use. And the fact that you can upload your logo or your artwork. That's it. Get in, communicate it quickly, and get out. Don't say too much. And then, very simple message here. We've got a lot of colors, and we've got a lot of sizes. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. So does this work? Absolutely. Again, the after design, the one that's stripped down and gets to the point quicker, knowing that we're not going to hold their attention very long, significantly outperformed the original version. Again, this stuff works, guys. It works time after time after time. We've tested it. Basic human truth number 3. Humans are visual. 90% of what we learn is visual. In other words, we learn by seeing. Man, just pause on that for a second. Think about it. 90% of what we learn is through what we see. So it makes you ask the question, what are you showing your customers in your marketing efforts, your website, your emails, your catalog, your direct mail, your social media? How much of it is visually impactful? Second thought, people prefer images over words by far. Why? Because we process images 60,000 times faster than words. Essentially, an image, a picture, we understand immediately. Most images don't need explanation. We see it and we understand it. And thirdly, when consumers read, they tend to scan. Now, you hear a lot of folks say that people don't read anymore. I disagree. Of course we still read. We just read differently. If you give me something interesting to read, I will read it. However, we tend to scan now. So knowing that, how are you presenting copy? Is it brief? Is it to the point? Is it in bite-sized chunks? So here's the takeaway, the marketing takeaway. Knowing that people are going to look at your pictures first, chances are they may or may not get deep into the copy. Make your images impactful. So here's an example. Again, another client that we've worked with, Charles Tirrett, a London shirt maker. These are high-end dress shirts. They're wonderful shirts, by the way. Handmade in London on Jermyn Street. This brand has now come to America. You can, of course, buy them online, and they have stores scattered across the country. Here's the catalog, the before we got our hands on it. Visually not bad, but in our redesign, I think the new version is more interesting to look at. The image of the gentleman sitting on top of an old British phone booth is more interesting. The white space around it frames it, which makes it more visually pleasing to look at. And then when you get inside the book, this was the before opening spread. There's a lot of information here. Again, we're bombarding folks with too much information. And visually, it's just a little messy, frankly. And then you get deeper into the book and you're shopping for shirts, and you know the images are fine. I can see the colors and the patterns and etc. But it's a lot of the same, page after page after page of very similar images. So not very dynamic visually. Again, the before catalog, the model on the right, standing pretty stiff, not very natural. The only stiffer than the model on the right are those two mannequins on the left. Just not very visually dynamic. Knowing that people are going to look at your images first, what are you showing them? Are you showing them something interesting to look at? So here's the redesign. Here's the new inside spread. Playful, fun image, catches the eye. Will I read that copy? Chances are yes. You go deeper into the book. We're selling formal shirts in this section. Before we start to show 8 or 10 different shirts on a spread, why not do an intro spread like this that catches the eye, full page bleed photos, not overly stiff models. These guys are having fun. They're joking around. A very tight close-up of the shirt and the details to show the quality on the left. These two images say a lot. Also works for a sweater spread. Why show 10 different models wearing a variety of the same sweater, just different colors? Show one great shot of a cool dude walking down the street in one sweater. On the left, show a stack that shows all the colors. Much more visually interesting. And it doesn't have to be just 1 or 2 big full bleed photos. This spread in the redesign has a lot of information in it. We're selling a lot of things here, but it's still pretty visually dynamic. This is a fun spread to navigate. This is fun to work through because the images are interesting. Give me something fun to look at. And then another spread here selling one of their popular suits. This suit comes in 6 different colors. The old catalog showed 6 guys wearing all 6 suits. It's the same suit. It just comes in 6 different colors. So rather than make the spread less interesting to look at, because there's 6 guys crammed into this spread, 6 models, they get really small. We used to show them head to toe. But hey, I know what a suit looks like. I know what pants on a suit look like. I don't have to see the guy head to toe. But man, when I turn the page and I see this picture of this James Bond looking dude walking down the street, you know, I want to be him. And I like that suit, and I like the way it fits. And oh, by the way, there's 6 little color swatches down there that let me know I have a choice in color. I get it. But the image carries the weight here. Really nice shot. Basic human truth number 4. Humans respond to emotion. Man, isn't that the truth? Guys, of all 7 truths that I'm going to share with you today, this one might carry the most weight. This one I'm super passionate about because it's overlooked far too often by far too many brands. Here's a fact. 95% of the decisions we make as humans are driven by emotion. Wrap your head around that one. This is crazy, yet it's true. This has been proven, again, through neuroscience. When people are making decisions, buying decisions, when they're choosing between brands or which product to buy, we might assume that that decision is being driven by logic. Hey, I'm going to buy from this brand, or I'm going to buy that product because it's bigger and faster, or comes in 6 sizes, or a variety of colors. I can get free shipping. Whatever the logical explanation is that we assume that they're going to make that decision on, it's false. Somewhere deep inside, subconsciously, emotion is driving that decision. 95% of that decision is driven by emotion. So, doesn't it make sense if people are making their decisions based on who to buy from, what to buy, etc., if they're basing that decision almost exclusively based on emotion, doesn't it make sense to speak to them on an emotional level rather than trying to sell them purely by using logic? Second bullet point here, the brain remembers events triggered by emotion. So, isn't that a big goal of brands, to be remembered? First, to stand out, get noticed, but also to be remembered. We want our customers to remember us, to think of us later down the road. When the time does come to buy or consider buying, we want them to remember us. So, if we want people to remember something, emotion can do that. And then third, we remember first impressions based on how we feel. When we meet someone for the first time, when we go to a restaurant for the first time, when we take a trip and see some place new for the first time, that first impression, we remember it based on how it made us feel. So, what's the marketing takeaway here? Make them feel something. For the love of God, guys, make people feel something. Move me. Move me. Don't just sell to me. Make me feel something. Here's a great example of some work we did for Lazy Boy. And this work was driven almost exclusively by adding emotion. We took their book here, the before book, and as you'll see here shortly, the book is actually really well designed. It's a beautiful catalog. It shows beautiful product, but it's missing something. It's missing humanity. It's missing emotion. So in the redesign, the version on the right, we thought there's not a single human being shown in the old catalog. No humanity at all. No sense of a human touch. So we thought, what if we infused some emotion into the book? What would happen if we actually showed people using the product? And my gosh, in today's world where we are still quarantined at home, spending our entire lives literally inside our homes, what happens if this catalog on the right lands in your mailbox today? We can immediately connect with that. So here's a spread from the original catalog, the before version. Again, nicely designed, nice photographs. The product looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. Turn the page. Hey, that's an attractive spread. Well designed, interesting layout, dynamic visual. It's all good, right? Turn the page again. Well, there's a cool setup, different kind of layout, one dramatic photo. What's wrong with this? Well, there's no humanity. There's no emotion in it. There's nothing to make me feel anything about the furniture. So in our redesign here in the after version, what if we introduced a real family into the equation? What if we told a story in the catalog about a family who needed to redesign their living space and decided to go to Lazy Boy to help them solve their problem? So we get to know the family, we introduce them, meet the Finleys, 2 parents, 3 kids, 1 questionably lovable dog, and the way Lazy Boy saved the day. Immediately, we've infused emotion. I want to know who these people are. They're real people like me. I now have a connection. I'm no longer just staring at chairs on a page. So again, in the redesign, we get to know the family. Here's the problem. Nothing about the space was working. We needed help. I don't know about you, but my house looks more like this than a furniture showroom. So I can immediately relate. So here's the problem. You turn the page. Here's the solution. We couldn't believe the transformation. It was incredible. And Lazy Boy essentially solved the problem for us. So we get to see their story. We get to know the people. We get to relate to them. We understand what they're going through. And it makes us feel better about the brand who's selling us the furniture. I feel better about Lazy Boy. Turn the page again. Here's a nice selling spread. We've moved past the family now, and we're selling couches and chairs, but there's still a sense of humanity here. We want to feature a designer at Lazy Boy. That's a big part of the process. When you walk into a Lazy Boy showroom, they have designers on staff that can sit down and help you map out a plan. So why don't we talk to them, get to know them here in the catalog? Turn the page again. We're selling, but there's just a sense of warmth here when you throw a dog on the couch. So just little things like this, adding some humanity into an otherwise fine catalog. It was okay. It was just missing something. Adding some emotion made all the difference. Basic human truth number 5. Humans are attracted to beauty. It's why we love a beautiful sunset or beautiful architecture or beautiful products that are designed really well, a beautiful car, a beautiful person. Why are we attracted to these things? It's how we're wired. All of us appreciate beauty. It's how we're made. It's built into our DNA. We are naturally drawn to what is visually pleasing. Second thought, first impressions, what something looks like, last forever. So the first time you see someone, the first time you see a new place that you visit, the first time that you see a product, a cool product that catches your eye, that first impression that you see, that you experience, that will last forever. So you got to ask yourself then, what first impression is my brand making on consumers? When someone first lands on my website, what's that first impression that they're seeing? If the first impression of my brand is our catalog in their mailbox, what is that first impression that you're making? Because whatever it is, that's going to last forever unless you do something dramatic to change it. And then third, consumers have developed an elevated design aesthetic. Guys, we expect more out of our brands today than we used to. And I'll explain why. But the bar has been raised. And if you're not keeping up with that expectation of it better be designed well, your product better be designed well, your website better be designed well, your advertising better be designed well, your catalog better be designed well. because I know the difference between good design and bad. I appreciate and demand, as a consumer today, better design. So the takeaway here, design matters. It matters now more than it ever has. And if you overlook this one, you're making a huge mistake. Too many people, too many brands assume that design is an afterthought or a nice to have. Man, I'm telling you, if you want to make a difference today, right now, if you want to do something quick and easy to fix the performance of your brand, this is where to start. Look at every single touch point you have with your customers and ask yourself, can I improve the design on that? Because people are expecting it to be better. Gosh, remember when we used to use a computer that looked like this, and we really didn't give much thought about the look of it, the design of it. It functioned fine. It got the job done until Steve Jobs said, baloney. That thing on the left, that's ugly. Design matters. I'm going to give you something that's beautiful. I'm going to give you a piece of eye candy that also functions just as well as the thing on the left. In fact, it functions better, I would argue. But there's no question it's designed better. So that changed the game. Apple changed the game. And you might say, well, I don't compete with Apple. So what does it matter? You absolutely compete with Apple because people now expect everything to be designed well because Apple showed us that it can be done. Not just the product, but the packaging and the in-store experience and the online experience. Everything they do is run through the filter of design. Here's some other brands that have elevated the bar and created an expectation for all consumers to say, you know what? Good design is no longer just a nice to have. I not only want it, I expect it. So again, Apple was the game changer here, but brands like Nike, why are they so great? Why are they so cool? Because everything they do is designed perfectly. Target made good design affordable for all of us. In fact, it's a brand differentiator for them. They own the concept of good design that's affordable for the masses. Tesla, Elon Musk comes along and says, why does an electric car have to be ugly? Who made that rule? So he designs a beautiful product that works, and now everybody wants it. IKEA, that brand was built, the foundation was built on the idea that design comes first. Not an afterthought, not a nice to have, not an add-on, design first. Here's a case study on Warby Parker. Eyeglasses company that changed the game, and they did it through design. Here's the two founders, David Gilboa and Neil Blumenthal. And they founded the company on the premise that we can offer a better designed product and a better designed experience at an affordable price, and we think people will love it. And they have. It's great when an appreciation of design starts at the top of the company. Then you have a chance. If the founder or the CEO or some top executive somewhere in the company believes in the power of good design, then chances are that will permeate through the rest of the company. I'm telling you, if you don't have believers at the top, if the founder or CEO or CMO or whoever, the top decision makers within a company, if they don't appreciate design, if it doesn't matter to them, good luck. But Warby Parker proved this to be true. Start with the product. Always start with the product. Is the design great? and build out from there. The packaging, when the box arrives in the mail, what does it look like? Packaging design matters. Store design, retail design matters. The in-store experience at a Warby Parker store is phenomenal. Why? Because everything is designed beautifully. Every surface, every detail, everything. You go to their website, and it's beautiful, clean, simple, tasteful. You want to spend time on the site. It's so easy to use and visually appealing. They could have easily junked this up, but they didn't. It's awesome. Emails that you get from Warby Parker, beautifully designed, simple, clean, tasteful. You get the catalog in the mail, same experience. Their catalog is gorgeous. No extra anything. It's just good design. Spread after spread after spread. Man, these guys get it. And here's the problem. Consumers expect this level of design from everybody. They want it. The question is, are you giving it to them or not? And this goes for B2B brands too. You know, B2B brands, I hear often say, well, you know, this is great for consumer brands, but nobody cares about what a B2B brand looks like. Baloney. Again, our brains are all hardwired the same. We can't distinguish between a consumer brand and a B2B brand. Our brain, it doesn't know. It just knows what it sees. So, I ask you, is your company design-driven? If it's not, it needs to be. Design can't just be part of the equation. Design needs to lead the way. If your brand is not design-driven, it can get in the back of the line. Guys, you look at all the brands that are successful today, a lot of them upstart companies that nobody heard of 6 months ago or a year ago. But they're going to the front of the line. Why? Because they've got an appreciation for good design. Basic human truth number 6. Humans crave a sense of belonging. Guys, this one here is ultra important in today's world. This sense of belonging. We all want to be part of a tribe. It's how we're born. It's baked into our DNA. We all want to belong to something. We were not meant to be alone. It's not how we were created. We need community. We want community. We need to be around other people. Man, being at home, safe at home these days. Right now, when I'm recording this is week 5 of being inside my house, week 5, and I'm an introvert by nature, believe it or not. I like alone time. I like to be by myself. I like quiet time. But after about 3 days of this, I started to miss people. I miss my coworkers. I miss my friends. I miss my neighbors. I miss seeing folks at church. I miss people. I miss my community. Why? Because it's how we're wired. Thirdly, here, we express ourselves through the groups we belong to. It becomes part of our identity. It becomes part of who we are by who we choose to hang out with. So the marketing takeaway here is to create a community or tap into an existing community. If you can align your brand with some type of community, some tribe that has a common belief or common set of values, rather than just selling products to random folks, if you can find a group of people that have something in common with each other and something in common with your brand, you will be far more successful. Here's an example. Again, a client of ours, this is a redesign of a catalog for Harley Davidson. And man, I'm telling you, there's no brand on this planet ever that has found a way to connect with their community. A community, a tribe of people that believe the same thing, that have a pure admiration for your brand. Nobody's done that better than Harley. Tapped into something deep inside a group of people and connected with them in a very meaningful way. They're masters at it. And here on the first spread of this catalog, we get right at the heart of it. The headline, we know what riders want because we ride. We're one of you. We're not just selling stuff to you. We're not just a faceless company. Man, we're one of you. And another spread. Yeah, we're selling product. Yeah, we've got stuff made out of leather that looks cool. But look how much real estate on this spread we commit to showing what the community of people, of Harley riders, look like and the lives that they lead. You know, it makes you want to be a part of it. And if you already are a part of it, this is a reminder of why you love it so much. You know, you turn the page, here's the spread. The right-hand page, we're selling stuff. We're still selling stuff. Here's some shirts that are pretty cool. But on the left, we devote an entire page to the community of Harley buyers. You know, let's show what it's like to hang around with like-minded people, a tribe of folks with similar values and similar beliefs. You know, I don't ride a Harley, but man, if I did, I'd want to be in that group. And I'd want to be tossing tires or whatever they're doing. I'd want to be doing it with them. I want to hang with them. And this carries over into their website. Well, you know, the first thing they talk about when you land on the Harley website is we fulfill dreams of personal freedom. That gets at the heart of why the brand exists. That's their mission. That's their motto. We fulfill dreams of personal freedom. That's why people buy these bikes, for personal freedom. So they're constantly reminding folks of why they love Harley. And then, you know, how many brands can stake claim to this? How many brands can say, we've got thousands of people, customers, who love our brand so much, they will tattoo our logo on their bodies. Can you say that? Can your brand claim that? Harley can. You know, for the record, that's me in the upper right. That's not true at all. That's a lie. I just made that up. I'm actually in the lower left. All right, last one, guys. Basic human truth number 7. Humans like rituals and routines. Again, another one that's ultra relevant to what we're dealing with today. What has happened to our rituals and routines? Have we maintained them? Have we created new ones? Because they're important. Routines make us feel safe. Change scares us. So why do we gravitate toward routines? Because they make us feel safe. It's the ritual of doing something over and over and over again, or doing something every day that makes us feel like we can count on something. We look forward to something. That routine makes us feel safe. You know, they say routine for babies or small children is essential. Why? Because it makes them feel safe. Rituals also give us a sense of control over our lives. We all want to feel like we're in control, right? And that's what was so crazy about when we first started to get quarantined based on the coronavirus. There was a feeling of we've lost control. And how do we regain that sense of control over our lives? Well, one way to do it is through rituals and routines. And brands that have rituals are stickier than those that don't. A lot of brands don't really have or are not related to any kind of ritual or routine. Their product really doesn't lend itself. So I will tell you now that this won't necessarily apply to everybody. It might be impossible for your brand to align itself to some routine or ritual that people do every day. But those brands or those products out there that can, they absolutely should. So ask yourself, is there anything about my product or brand that can be repeated? Can I create a routine out of it? Can I create a ritual out of it? What can I repeat? Here's a great example of a brand who's latched on to a ritual, a routine. Oreo cookies. The ritual, when you eat one, you twist, you lick, and you dunk. That's how you eat an Oreo. That's the ritual you should do every time. So if you're opening a bag of Oreos and you just bite into one without doing the routine, dude, you're doing it wrong. Oreo will flat out tell you, there's a ritual to this. There's a way to do it. Twist, lick, and dunk. In fact, you know, that's so well known that you go to their website, they have contests for things like this. Send in a video to show us how you eat an Oreo. What's your routine? That's smart, super smart. Here's another brand that gets it. Starbucks understands deeply the power of ritual and routine. It used to be a part of my daily routine. You know, I'd make a stop at the Starbucks every morning. I can't do it now. My routine is broken. I can't go to a Starbucks because they're closed. So there goes my morning ritual. But back in the day, when you could walk into any Starbucks anywhere in the country and order your same drink, they would make it the same way. The ritual is the same. The routine is the same. There's something comforting about that. You know, even, you know, when they write your name on the cup and they misspell it or they mispronounce it, part of the ritual, part of the routine. They get it. Every holiday season, fans of Starbucks always look forward to the cups, the holiday cups that they come out with. Why? Because it's a routine. They do it every year. We look forward to it. Something to look forward to. So there it is, guys. 7 basic human truths. These have all been proven out, so no need to argue them. They're fact. But the point is, knowing that all of these are true, what do we do with it? Are we taking advantage of it with our brands? Are we using them? Are we trying to figure out a way to connect with people better by doing these 7 things? Number 1, the brain craves ease and order. We want it desperately. Make it easy, make it orderly. So the takeaway, simplify everything. Number 2, humans have a limited attention span. 8 seconds, that's nuts. So be brief, get to the point. Number 3, humans are visual. We learn by seeing. 90% of what we learn is visual. So what are you showing folks? Number 4, humans respond to emotion. Everything is based on emotion, how we feel. Make me feel something. Number 5, humans are attracted to beauty. Design matters, guys. This one's missed by most brands, and it's so easy to do. Focus on design. Number 6, humans crave a sense of belonging. We want community. Desperately, we need it, now more than ever. What is your brand doing today to build community? And number 7, humans like rituals and routine. What can be repeated? Here's an email I want to share with you because it's timely. It is a great example, I think, of a brand who is appealing to folks on a human level. This brand is remarkably human. It's one of my favorite brands on the planet, Huckberry. They do such a remarkable job of connecting to their customers, their tribe, their community of folks in a very human way. And when we were first dealing with the COVID-19 crisis a few weeks back, it seemed like I would get a dozen emails from different brands every day, each day a new one, talking about the crisis and what they were doing to deal with it. And this one here was the best one I received. I love the message. Let me read it to you. Hey guys, Huckberry co-founders Rich and Andy here. What a week. To say it was less than ideal would be like the time Chris Farley said, I have what doctors call a little bit of a weight problem. The good news is we've survived far worse over the long arc of human history, and we'll beat this too, together. In the meantime, we hope to create a welcome diversion by bringing you our regularly scheduled programming of quality gear and actionable inspiration, all supported by a positive, like-minded community. So, enjoy your Sunday, stay safe, and above all, be good to each other. Onward. That's awesome. That sounds like somebody, a person, talking directly to me. Not a brand, not a company trying to sell me something. This brand clearly has empathy for what we're dealing with, and they're being honest with me up front, and I appreciate it. So the last final closing thought, guys, really comes down to this. This has always been the case. This will always be the case, but it's more important now than ever, I think. We as brands have to accept the fact that people come first. People first. Not products, not profit, not promotion. We're not selling to a target audience or consumers, people who consume things. We're not selling to names on a mailing list. We're trying to connect with people, and those people come first. We have to put them first, and we can do that by being empathetic and having our brand behave and act more human. So thank you. I appreciate the time. If you have any questions, here's my email address. I would love to hear from you.